So, let's start off with a fun fact. Vitruvius, the name of the wizard in the Lego movie, and the name of Vitruvius, the engineer and philosopher guy with the Vitruvian man, with the hands. Did you know that his name means master builder? Review for you! So let's start with the fact that everything is awesome. Because it is. I, personally, am an instructions follower. I need the instructions or I can't get anything built. I have pretty good problem solving skills and I can build a set, I can build stairs, I can build chairs, I can build anything, but unless I either make a plan or have a plan, I have a really hard time putting it together. So at first I was like, this is hilarious! These people all have instructions to follow, and President Business is like, follow your instructions. I mean, we already obviously know that President Business is bad because of the beginning. He, drop kicks Vitruvius in the face. But, in the world of President Business and the city and all these people, Emmett's world, it's really adorable the way they're like, follow the instructions and you'll be happy. And, I mean, I get that that's kind of weird and insidious and not necessarily a good thing. But the way it's portrayed, where everyone is just like, singing to the same song, which we are all familiar with in the real world, and like coming out of their doors and being like, good morning world, and like following the plan. It was so cool because it was, first of all, it was just a beautiful demonstration of what they could do with the animation and what they could do with the Legos. But secondly, it was just like, it put Emmett in a really clear place as the same as everyone else. And I thought that was really neat, and brings us actually to Emmett. So Emmett is this sort of everyman that we see in a lot of movies all the time. But the thing that I think really makes Emmett different is that in his everyman status, he is no one. Like, no one. When Bad Cop, who I love, is showing him videos about people talking about him, and they say, oh, I guess I don't really know him, or, I don't know much about him, or he just does what everybody else does, or I can't really recall his face, or who are we talking about? Like, it hurt me. And I was like, I have all these feelings, and they're for Lego people. What is happening? But in his everyman status, he has become no one. And I thought that was really interesting. But let's talk about the voices in this movie. Let's talk about how freaking Morgan Freeman is one of the funniest people on the planet. And I think it's partly because his voice has that sort of serious quality, that sort of, God voice, that it is so funny. When he, can't say Dumbledore, or he's talking about making stuff up, or being like, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. And it's funny because it's Morgan Freeman, and I thought he was hilarious. And then Will Ferrell as President Business was so good. At first I didn't realize it was him, and when I realized it was him, all I heard was Will Ferrell, and I was so happy. And he kind of reminded me a little bit of Mr. Mugatu from Zoolander, in that hungry for power type of way, but he was a very different character in this, and I thought that he was so adorably just trying to be evil. And I guess what he was doing was pretty mean, but he was, a Lego bad guy. He's like, my master plan is to crazy glue everybody into place, because that's where I think they should go, and everything needs to be perfect. And it was just really hilarious. So funny. And then, of course, Will Arnett as Batman. I couldn't even, there's nothing to say aside from perfection. And then Elizabeth Banks, of course, lent this really adorable quality to Wild Style, which is the silliest name in the whole world, by the way. Hold on one second. Did you guys hear that? That was disgusting. And then there was Elizabeth Banks as Wild Style, and she was so adorable and just like totally tough, but like totally not, but still tough, but big softy. And I thought that was great. It is just so good. So good. Moving on. While we're talking about Wild Style, let's talk about how at the beginning she was like, I have a boyfriend. It's pretty serious. And I could tell, because of the type of character that she was already portrayed as, he was either going to be a badass or a douchebag. And imagine my joy and surprise when her boyfriend turned out to be Batman. And not just any Batman, the Christian Bale Batman, who I'm sorry if this offends anyone, who I cannot effing stand. I can't, and I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry that I feel that way, but I'm sorry if it bugs you. I think that the Christian Bale Batman is such a douchebag. And so when Will Arnett's Batman was what I think of Christian Bale's Batman, I had to physically cover my face because I was laughing so hard. And those of you that know me personally know that I have a very loud, what some people politely call distinctive laugh, and I know that. And so I'm trying to contain it so I don't ruin the experience for all these kids, but like I can't even handle how funny this is. And I just thought that relationship, and at the end when he was like, he's the hero you deserve, I was like, that is the perfectest? Sure. That is the perfectest thing you could have said. And it just wrapped it all up and made it so perfect in his little, my life is a dark pit of darky darkness. Oh, darkness, dark, black, blah, batarang, blah, bat, everything. I don't have enough words for how awesome I thought that was. So the dialogue in this movie, it felt a lot like, I've been out of college for about 4 or 5 years now. 4 years? Let's not make me any older than I already am. About 4 years, but being in the movie theater for this, I felt like I was sitting at my friend's apartment and we were all hanging out and throwing back a couple beers and just like talking about ridiculous scenarios and like the weird crap that we would say. I'm a theater major. I'm an actor. That's what I do. Now you get a bunch of theater majors in a room together and all bets are off. And the most wackadoo, ridiculous-ish is going to come out of your guys' mouths. It's fact. It's science. So it felt like I was hanging out at the cage, drinking beers, and talking about what hypothetically would happen if Legos were sentient. And it made me feel so warm and fuzzy in my heart to feel that way. And if you're watching this, you know who you are. And shout out or whatever, but you know who you are. You guys were there with me in that movie theater. And it was wonderful. I have not laughed so hard out loud at a movie in a really long time. The twist! The twisty twist at the end. At the beginning of the movie you think, cool, we're in Lego World. This is just like, Lego Harry Potter on your DS, or Lego Star Wars, or Lego whatever. This is a Lego world. Cool. But the ending, like towards the end when he falls through the vortex and he's like, am I gonna fall forever? Ah, which was hilarious, by the way. The real world so quickly brought this whole world into context. Because it showed that this one kid's imagination, just this one kid, his imagination created all of these worlds in this universe. And it was such a perfect way of saying, boys and girls of all ages, don't shut your imagination off because cool stuff can come out of it. You don't necessarily need instructions. I mean, cool, they're there and you can use them if you want, but you don't have to follow all the instructions. Use the gray matter between your ears, my friend, because that's where it's at. That's where Unikitty being a psycho killer comes out. That's where Robot Pirate and horses riding bigger horses, and it's just, it was so great because that kid made his grown-up dad feel like a kid again. And I think that relationship, even in its short amount of time, was completely realized. And it was really sweet. and adorable and, you know, real. And I thought that was really cool. And I'm glad that they put in real world with the Lego, because I think it really brought a whole new level of fantasticalness and even kind of realness to the Lego world. Basically what I'm saying, guys, is go see this movie. This is the second movie in a row that I've gone to see that I am, like, shoving people out the door to go watch immediately. It is so good, and if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know why you're watching this review, because there's spoilers in it. And I mean, I guess some people like spoilers, but this is gonna start rambling, and I'm gonna just... Go see the movie. I loved it. Look out for some stuff from me soon. I just recently caught up on some comics that I really want to talk to you about. And also working on a couple of covers. So that's happening. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm sick. You can tell I have a voice like a man right now. Which is, you know, fine. But I'm going to go eat some Ritz crackers and edit videos and watch Supernatural, because that has been my life recently, because I don't have a show. So, an actor without a show. It's a weird, weird time. Anyway.